Good afternoon. This is Anastasia Smorodinskaya reporting for the Daily National in New York City. And today in the studio with us, we have Thomas Edwards. He is the founder of a company called the Professional Wingman, which you might have seen on CNN or mentioned in Cosmopolitan Magazine and Esquire. But today, I'm going to find out what it's really like to be a full-time wingman straight from the source. Thomas, hello. Thank you so much for being here with us.
Thanks for having me.
Thomas, I'm going to ask the question that you probably get asked all the time, but I have to do it anyway. Did you start this company before or after you saw the critically acclaimed Will Smith movie Hitch?
I actually started the company before Hitch. In fact, I didn't see Hitch until about 7 months after I started my business. And so when I saw it, I said, wow, this is really similar to what I do.
All right, so it is a fair comparison then.
Yeah.
Can you actually describe what exactly it is that you guys do?
Yeah, so we work with people to develop their social skills so they can have better dating lives. And how we do it is we go out with our clients and we see what it is that they actually do that's preventing them from that success that they're looking for in real social environments, and we give them real-time feedback so they can go on there and make it happen for themselves in a lot more proficient manner.
And why did you decide to start a company like this? Did you see a demand out there for wingmen?
I didn't even know this could even be possible, to be honest. My personal life has been filled with ups and downs in terms of relationships dating back to when I thought I was going to marry someone in college, and then after getting their blessing from her parents, a week later she cheated on me. And so I went through this whole transformation process of really rediscovering myself and becoming confident again in who I was. And in that process found different ways to keep myself accountable, such as writing a blog, and also just experimenting with life and really practicing and becoming more comfortable with who I was. And eventually it turned into a business where a friend of mine wanted me to help him literally be his wingman and introduce him to a woman he thought was attractive, get a date with her, which I was able to do, and then he ended up paying for my drinks for the whole weekend while we were out at South by Southwest.
Wow, and so Professional Wingman was born.
Exactly, yeah.
All right, well that kind of leads into my next question. A lot of dating experts like yourself will have a background in psychology or couples counseling. What are your credentials? I guess just life experience? Is that what makes you such an awesome wingman, or did you have any training?
Educational credentials. I have real life experience, you know, having gone out there and tested repeatedly. I mean, to work on myself for 4 or 5, I mean, at this point it's probably 6+ years, you can't get any better education and data from going out there into the real world and experience things in front of your eyes and really seeing what works, what doesn't work, and then create a pattern and a system of things that can make you become consistently better at whether it's attracting women, whether it's to develop a social life that you're fine with, or just becoming a more confident person in other aspects of your life, whether it's professionally, with your family and friends, and other endeavors.
Oh, all right, wonderful. And can you just walk me through what a typical session is like with a professional wingman?
All right, so we'll go back a little bit, and we'll go from the initial process.
Okay.
And so let's say you're someone who's curious about the service. So you can go on and apply for coaching. And at that point, there's about a 95% acceptance rate in terms of who we actually come in. And even at that point, we do meet with you in person or over the phone just to get an idea of who you are, what your intentions are. And we cover 3 things. Your dating past, your dating and social present, and your future. I mean, what do you want your future to look like, and how do you want us to help you get there? And through that process, we can determine what you're looking for, whether it's, you know, long-term love, you're new in town and you don't really know how to navigate the social scene, or you're coming off of a breakup and don't really know how to move forward. We don't, like Hitch, we don't work with people who just want to get laid or just in it to have sex. There are other services out there that can provide that for them. We're not one of them. So that way we weed out the people who are not in it for serious purposes. And so at that point, there's about a 90% acceptance rate. And then from there, what we do is we do an analysis. And that analysis allows us to see what we have to work with. So we put you in a social environment and we determine, all right, well, how would you act in any normal social environment without my assistance or our assistance? We see what you do right, what you do wrong. We see how you interpret the feedback that we give you, whether you think that we're spot on or you think that we're full of it and you won't pay attention. And then after that, we see how we can work with you in tandem with various social groups. And so if, you know, I was out with a client and you were amongst the women that we were talking to, would you know if we were working together? Or would you know that we're just 2 buddies out having a good time? Because that's also very important for my clients, as confidentiality is something that's very important to them. And then at the end of the session, I give them the 3 major sticking points that they should work on, whether it's with us or on their own. And if they decide they want to work with us, then each session thereafter is focused on each individual sticking point.
Wow, that is very detailed. You've clearly done all your homework.
Yeah.
Demographically, age-wise, career-wise, what kind of people do you guys attract?
So when I first started out, we actually attracted 37 to 47 recently divorced males. Since then, we've expanded, and so now it's 24 to 44 young professionals, divorced, looking to settle down, very driven, career-oriented, very established in the careers. I mean, I've worked with, doctors, lawyers, DJs, policemen, even a state delegate, just like people from all over. We've worked with them of all different careers, and even, graduate students and CPAs and whoever else, teachers. It covers the scale, because at the end of the day, dating is a very universal thing, and anyone can relate to it.
Do you ever get women?
So 25% of my clients are women.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Okay, that's a pretty good percent.
Yeah, and they come to me because they either don't know where to meet men, they can't tell if a guy is interested in them, or they just don't know what it is that they're, like, a lot of problems I see from women, that the reason why they come to me is that they're attracting the wrong women, the wrong guys. So it's important for me to go out there and figure out, well, how are you presenting yourself, and why are you attracting the guys that you actually don't want?
How about the gay and lesbian community? Do you ever work with them?
So I've worked with a small percentage, very small percentage, not by design. I think a lot of the content that I create has been presented in a way that's focused towards heterosexual relationships. But at the end of the day, my advice is so practical that it can be done for whatever. So I encourage the gay and lesbian crowd, if they're interested or want to find that service, to come on and work with us.
Right, like you said, dating is universal.
Yeah. And ironically, we have a 100% success rate with the with gay clients that we work with. Yeah, so I'd like to keep adding 1,000.
All right, great. Thomas, what else I wanted to ask you is, you kind of answered this. For the most part, your clients, are they looking for a long-term relationship? Do they want to settle down and get married, or are they looking to become better pickup artists?
Yeah, so the whole pickup artist thing is something that I even like cringe a little bit by the idea, just because no, it's fine. I mean, that could be a huge misconception for what I do. I'm indeed not a pickup artist. In fact, what I do, I'm a social strategist. So I help people find out where they are in their lives and how to develop their social skills, whether it's interpersonal communication, develop their ability to communicate through body language, etc., to basically max out their life, specifically romantically. So the guys who do come to me are looking for long-term relationships. They want to get married. They want to settle down. They understand that in order to have children at some point, they need to be able to meet the women that they want to have these children with, and vice versa. There are women who are looking for guys who they want to settle down with as well. And so for them, once it becomes a priority, then it becomes very valuable for them to work with us.
All right. Do you ever get people who have, who come to you for the wrong reasons? It might not be just to get laid, but let's say they're trying to get someone that's completely out of their league, or they're trying to break up a happy relationship because they want to be with such and such person.
Yeah. Well, we don't do home wreckers. We don't have home wrecker services.
Okay.
We do have, guys who do, once again, who come in, they just want to, have sex, and we
pre-screen against that?
Yeah, we get them out. For, I guess, other other particular instances, there are people who, their expectations, they're out of whack. And so it's my job to let them know, it's okay to have goals that you want to, reach, but you have to put in work to get there. It's just not just going to magically happen. And so I truly believe that there's someone out there for everyone. Absolutely. Okay. There's at least one person out there for everyone. Having said that, it's a lot of work that you do need to put, and you need to invest in yourself in order to get that person that you're looking for. And so it's possible, but if you're not willing to put in the work, then you can't expect it just to happen. All
right. Well, on that note, let's talk about dating practices in general. What are the most common mistakes that you see people make out there in the dating world?
They rely too much on technology. I think that's number one.
Really?
And I say that in a way because I love technology. I think technology has evolved the dating world in a very positive way. And I think because of online dating, mobile dating, it has opened up the many choices that you now have as a single person to meet whoever you want. Having said that, because we rely so much on technology, in a way our social skills have atrophied. And so the whole point of online and mobile dating is to actually go offline and actually meet these people in person. So if you don't have the skills to actually make that intimate connection with someone, then it's not going to work anyways. And I think there should still be a focus on that in-person communication. For guys, typically, they don't take enough risks. The fear of rejection is such a big deal in their minds that they're not willing to take the steps necessary to find the person that they want to talk to or meet the person that they want to meet, because they have that fear of being rejected. And the funny thing is, women have the same fear as well, but guys don't worry about that. They don't realize that, and so that works both ways. But I would say those would be the top two.
As a coach, how do you go about breaking people of their bad habits?
Really, it's practice and repetition.
Like anything else, huh?
Yeah, honestly, just like when you're running for a marathon, you're not going to wake up one day and decide, okay, I'm going to run 26 miles. Like you start at small amounts, and then you keep pushing yourself. And so part of what makes our service so valuable is that we are people who push you out of your comfort zone, in a very safe social environment, and you have that support that if things don't necessarily work out, which in the initial stages they're not, but you do have the support of having us to be able to encourage you, be able to give you the positive feedback, so when you go back out there, you're better prepared, which gives you a better chance for success.
Do you genuinely believe that everyone has it in them to be sexy, to be appealing, to be desirable to the man or woman of their dreams?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, once you determine what you want, then you can, build yourself and transform yourself into the person that is desirable, that people do want to be around, and it's not a mold that you create, and you just replicate yourself. I don't have by me working with my clients, I don't have a militia of me out there, trying to meet women. Everyone has a DNA that is unique to themselves, and that's what makes them great, right? And so it's about peaking and maximizing the great qualities that you have, so people can see that and want to be a part of it, and want to be around that.
You've never come across just a total lost cause?
No, absolutely not.
Really?
Absolutely not. I mean, there are people out there who, the reason why they would be a lost cause is because they're not willing to put in the work at the end of the day. They're not willing to accept feedback, whether it's positive or constructive. And, their expectations are so out of whack that they're beyond my help. They need another level of help that is going to help them basically have that reality check and come down to earth. But other than that, I mean, if you have a willingness, that's all you need. A willingness to do what it takes, you can absolutely get there. I don't think anyone's a lost cause as long as they have that willingness.
Well, that's very encouraging.
Yeah.
Thomas, you work in New York City, and New York kind of is stigmatized as being a pretty perilous place for singles and for meeting people in general. Would you say that's true, and why?
It's a misconception, for sure, I believe. I mean, don't get me wrong, dating in New York is very, very difficult, and for a lot of reasons. I mean, we work a ton.
Yeah.
There are a lot of, I guess, self-indulging vanities that exist here in New York that are unlike any other city in the world. And it can be distracting for a lot of people, especially if you're single. And you have a variety of options to you that you may not otherwise have in a different city. So for those reasons, yeah, it's definitely difficult, but it's not impossible to be able to meet someone. I think the beauty of New York is that you can refine your search and you can narrow down places where you want to go to actually meet the kind of people that you want to meet, because there's so much, And so if you can narrow your search and not just expect to walk into a random place and meet a random guy and that random person becomes your Prince Charming, then you can definitely increase your chances for success. All
right. So in your professional opinion, what are some of the best places to go out in New York City if you're looking to meet and mingle? Is it all about the bar scene?
Well, the bars are definitely heavy, right? And so I'll never discredit the bars. The bars and the lounges are great places to meet people. If you're not someone that can actually speak loudly, or you don't like fast environments, going to the club is not going to serve you well. So don't spend time going to the club. There are plenty of museums here, especially those that are free, that people frequent. Warm weather, there are a lot of zoos. the park, Whole Foods.
Whole Foods? Yeah.
Supermarkets.
Libraries.
Yeah, libraries, shopping centers, malls, coffee shops, through your daily routine, maybe banks, if
Yeah.
if you have to pay bills, whatever it is, you can look at your lifestyle and determine, even the subway, to be honest. I mean, subway is
I've
another
heard of
place.
it. Yeah.
So you look at your life day to day and see what are the things that you do. If you go to the gym a lot, that could be a place where you can meet people.
Definitely.
Yoga. I mean, if you're a guy interested in getting fit, yoga not only is good for you, but at the same time, there are a lot of women who go to yoga.
Yep.
Who go to yoga, yoga places and do yoga. So like, that's a great place to possibly meet someone.
All right, yoga.
Yeah.
Yoga.
But I mean, these are examples.
Yeah.
So it's just paying attention to what you do your day-to-day life, and then become open to the opportunity of meeting someone or having someone approach you.
Definitely, definitely. Well said. Thomas, before I let you go, are there any last words of wisdom that you'd like to share with our audience?
Honestly, at the end of the day, it's just the willingness. Be more open. I know New York, there's a lot of crazy people.
Yeah.
And it puts you on the defensive instantly. But some days it's okay to totally expose yourself. Be vulnerable. Unplug the headphones. Get off your phones. Stop reading. Get off your iPads, and look up. See what's around you. Make eye contact with people. Smile. I think smiling is like the first thing I tell all my clients to do, because they don't do it, and they don't even realize. And who wants to approach someone that has a mean look on their face? So if you smile, you become more receptive, and more likely you give up a warm energy that people may want to gravitate towards.
Definitely. Definitely. Thomas, thank you so much for coming in. I know
Thanks
you're a very busy man, but I've had so much fun talking to you, and this has been very informative. And if you guys out there want to find out more about the Professional Wingman or have Thomas take you out on the town, please visit theprofessionalwingman.com. And once again, this has been Anastasia Swarodinskaya reporting for the Daily National in New York City.